Hey everybody, it's Kate, the West Coast Paper Crafter. It is Monday, so it's Make It Monday. And tonight I am going to show you how to make a really cute card using the Lighting the Way stamp set and dies. I'm just going to flip my phone around so you can see my workspace. Okay. And I'm going to refresh my screen and hopefully be able to see anyone who's joining and any comments. So this is the stamp set that I'm using. It is the Lighting the Way stamp set in the annual catalog and the corresponding dies. All right, I hope you can see my workstation okay. All right, let's get started. So I've got everything cut out and ready to go, and I have posted the measurements. I'm just going to turn my camera around. Let's see if that's better. I posted the measurements on the description, so if you don't get them, that's okay. You'll see them in the description. So we'll start with the card base, just your regular card base, 5.5 by 8.5. Scored in the middle. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's scored at 4 1/4. Then you just fold that in half. I have got a piece of gorgeous grape, 4.5 by 3 1/4. A piece of bubble bath. I used the 6th largest deckled rectangle die to cut that out. If you can see that. But if you don't have the die, then you'll just cut your cardstock to 4 1/4 by 3. And for the inside, I've got a piece of gorgeous grape by 5 1/4 by 4. And a piece of basic white, 5 by 3 3/4. I'll just put those aside, and we're going to start with the card base. So I'm going to use these little circular stamps, and I'm going to stamp in bubble bath ink on my bubble bath cardstock, just a random pattern. I'm going to start with my biggest one. I have no rhyme or reason, just filling up some space. I'm going to switch to the 2nd largest circle stamp and fill in some of that negative space. For those joining me live tonight, hello, happy Monday. I'm glad you're joining. And for those that are going to catch on the replay, that's awesome too. Thanks for watching. Now I'm switching to my third smallest stamp, and I'll fill in the rest of the space, just random. And I'm not filling in the middle because I'm going to put some cardstock down there, so I don't need to do that. There, that's great. So just like that. I'll put that aside. Next, I'm going to grab my Deckled Rectangle die cut, and again, if you don't have the dies, then you're just going to want to cut this paper to 4 1/4 by 3, and it's the bubble bath. And I am going to take some fresh freesia ink and my little blending brush, and I'm just going to add a bit of color to this piece of cardstock. Now, for those of you who haven't blended before, you just want to start off on some scrap paper before you bring the color right onto your cardstock, just to keep it from being really dark when you first add some ink. You can always add more color, but if you put too much color on, it's a little harder to take it off or blend it in. All right, just like that. And with my fresh freesia, I'm going to stamp the little firefly trail. I don't know what else to call that. I'm just gonna stamp that right about there. Perfect. And then I will stamp the "You Are All Kinds of Wonderful" sentiment in Gorgeous Grape. All right, so when you are inking up your stamp, just tap, tap gentle. You don't want to smoosh it. There, perfect. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm gonna add some Daffodil Delight to this cardstock. I've pre-cut out a lantern from the Lighting the Way dies. I used silver foil. So I'm just gonna put it down here and have an idea of where I want to stamp the light. Looks about right. I'm going to ink up the largest circular stamp in the daffodil ink, and I'm just gonna stamp it where the middle of the lantern's gonna be, like that. Perfect. Okay, I'll put that aside. Oops. And next I need, how did I lose that already? I lost some paper. I need my Gorgeous Grape. Hang on. I just had it. Oh, that's okay. I'll just cut another piece. Stand by it. Okay. I honestly don't know how I lost it. It's probably right in front of me, and I just can't see it. It doesn't matter. So I'm going to cut it. There we go. Okay, crisis averted, and then as soon as I put away my trimmer, I'm probably going to find it. That's how that works. Okay, so now I'm going to mat my piece of bubble bath cardstock onto the Gorgeous Grape. And I'm just going to use my Tombow. I rarely use Stamp and Seal because I don't ever get anything straight when I glue it on a card. So Tombow it is. And then I have a few seconds to adjust it before it sticks. Perfect. And I will glue this onto my card front. Okay, just like so. All right, now I'm going to grab my mini dimensionals and I am going to pop up the lantern over top of the circle of Daffodil Delight. I have the backings of dimensionals all over my house. They're just everywhere. I can never get them all with the vacuum. I don't know if anybody else has that problem. That's my problem. Okay, just like that. All right, next I have already pre-cut out some of the fireflies using the dies. I've got two little purple ones, and then I've got a bigger one that I need to put together. And I am going to start by gluing these vellum wings onto the body of the firefly. So I'm just going to put a tiny little dab of Tombow and stick my the top part of the firefly on that. And then I'm going to add a little bit more Tombow. That might be too much, we'll see. And I'll stick the bottom piece on. Oops. There we go. I don't know if you can see that very well. There it is, just like that. And mini dimensionals. Oh, I got glue on my fingers. Now I can't get these backings off. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to put this big firefly right here. And then I should have used my silicone mat. I wouldn't have such sticky fingers. I'm going to add another mini dimensional to the back of this little firefly die cut. I'll put that one here. And one more. And this one I will put right there. All right, there we go. So now what I will do is I will add some cardstock to the inside of the card. And I think I'm just gonna add some more of that firefly trail in the corners, like that. I think that's pretty. I like that stamp. And then I will glue this onto the gorgeous grape. And here's a tip. Sometimes if my blade is dull, I don't know if you can see it, but it's a rough edge. And I just have a little nail file that I use to just quickly file off any of the rough edges. And then it looks perfect. And I have inky fingers, so of course I got ink on it, but I'm going to turn it around and I'm going to re-stamp it, and you'll never know that I messed up. Well, I guess you'll know because you're watching, but whoever gets this card will never know that I messed up. There, perfect. Let's try this again. All right, glue on the side that I messed up. And I'm pretty careful with my Tombow. I add a lot of glue, but in thin lines, because otherwise it might leach out and it makes a bit of a mess, which is fixable, certainly, if you have a glue eraser, but I prefer not to be sloppy. All right, now this just gets glued on the inside. Okay, just like so. I should have closed my ink pad because I got ink on the front of this card. I don't know if you can see that right there. That's what happens when you leave your ink pads open. What I might do to fix that is just do a little bit of blending brush around the edges. I don't know if that's going to help or make it worse, but I'm committed. I'm doing it. I am a hot mess sometimes when I craft, especially if I do not remember to close my ink pads. All right, well, that's that. It's there. I may have made it worse. We shall see. All right, and the last thing I'm going to do is add some Simply Elegant trim to the top of the lantern. So all I do is I fold it in half. I put 2 ends through the loop of the lantern handle, and then I tuck those 2 ends through the loop that I've just made with the trim. And it's not going to stay because the elegant trim is, I guess, a little bit slippery. It doesn't stick, or it doesn't stay when you loop it around the handle. So I just take another piece and I tie it around the tail, or the tag, I guess, and I just tie it in a knot. And then I use too much elegant trim, but I'm just going to trim it. And that is that. I really like this stamp set, and I like the dies. I think it's a really fun set. I've been using it quite a bit, but not enough because I've got lots of other stamp sets that need attention to. So that's it. Thank you so much for joining me tonight if you join live, and again, if you watch on replay, thanks for tuning in. If you missed it, I posted a spin to win post on Sunday about gratitude, and if you find that post and comment on it, I will enter your name in a spin draw that I'll do on Friday, and the prize will be a set of these note cards. I think they're absolutely beautiful. They were in the last month's paper pumpkin kit with love and gratitude, and I just think they're adorable. So cute and so little. All right, that's it. Thanks very much for tuning in for my Make It Monday and play my spin to win, and I will see you next week. Have a good night.